What's going on, guys? I'm here today with a project I've been wanting to do for years now. Finally had a chance. Got a hold of a Marlin 1895D. Posted about it one time on Instagram, but now it is done. This is the dream lever gun for me, and in my opinion, the only way to lever gun these days. Ranger Point Precision Edition. All right, guys, so we're gonna shoot this thing, but also I'm gonna go over everything I did to it, and then what little tweaks I made to the upgrades to personalize it a little bit more to myself and to give it the little extra that I needed from the upgrades that I didn't think it offered straight away from Ranger Point. We're gonna go over all that. Overall though, guys, it is beautiful and functional. All right, so look, there is a lot going on with this thing, and there's gonna be a bunch of questions. I'm gonna try to answer everything that you may be thinking straight away. The first thing that's gonna jump out, the elephant in the room, is Steve, why the hell do you have this on there, and what is it? So how I like to shoot rifles, even with a vertical grip, I don't use it in the traditional way you would think of, guys were doing 10 years ago where they grab it, right? They grab it so you're kind of floating all over the place here. I use it as a posting point. So even on a vertical grip, I'll still index on the grip and grab the rifle itself and use that as an anchored pull in. So originally I had a small Magpul vertical grip on this, and it was still too long. I just didn't like the way it overall looked. It functioned, but I just didn't like the way it looked. So I found this thing online, and it really was perfect and fit my needs. It's short, but it's curved, and it really gives me a nice pocket to put my hand in and still be able to index and grab on the gun, which also gives me perfect access to my light switch. So that's basically what this thing is accomplishing for me. I know people are gonna be like, well, you don't need a vertical grip, you don't need any of this stuff on a lever gun, but to me, I just liked that index. I like the comfort of pulling into that, even though I have no problem holding on. I just like being able to anchor in and really drive into my shoulder. So that's why that is there. So let's start going over this thing from front to back. And first you'll notice I got this big old flashlight on here, and I know you're gonna say, Steve, it's a no light, it's trash. Guys, really, it is a great budget option for people who don't wanna spend like $300 on a light. It has high-low setting, magnetic charge, it has a green laser built in. This thing is actually pretty sweet. Now, while I wouldn't use it inside because it's very bright, even on the low setting, it's still pretty bright. I'm not gonna shoot this thing inside for self-defense. But shooting outside, this light is great. I get a lot of throw and a lot of brightness for it. So if you are hunting, you wanna use a light, that sort of thing, it's got a laser built in. It's actually pretty cool, and I really wanted to trick out this rifle and bring the lever gun into the 21st century, which what Ranger Point is allowing people to do. With their upgrades, you can do that. So the lighting system and all that is mounted on Ranger Point's MLock handguard. It has a lot of different spots, to put your MLock pieces on. Put on their MLock cartridge holder, so I got my extra cartridges. What I will say, and one critique I will maybe offer to Ranger Point is, while this is awesome, I will say just a few more MLock mounting surfaces would be great, because you're a little limited. Again, this isn't an AR. I don't need the whole thing to be MLock. But there's just a few parts of this I wish there was a little more. So you got a lot of cool, the vent holes and everything here. Same thing on the other side, and there's different sections that have the MLock to put different MLock things on. But what I found was, when I'm mounting the light, there's a bunch over on this side, and then there's a big space, and then a small portion here. So I really wanted there to be another section here. So I felt like you could have got rid of these more design element holes and maybe put some more MLock just along the whole bottom portion and left the top portion for the design accent. So I felt like it would be just a little more functional that way, give you a little more versatility, because right now I'm all the way forward on this light switch, and I'm basically all the way back on my hand stop, And for me, it's perfect. It's a perfect reach. I got access to both. But ideally, I probably would have wanted it up just a little further, the whole setup just up just a little further. But I wasn't able to do that because I didn't have the MLock section there. Small detail. Most people are not going to set it up this way. Lights on. Most people are not going to set it up this way and have all of this stuff on there. But because I'm trying to really trick it out and bring this thing into the 21st century, I wanted to load it up with as much as possible. Moving back from there, I just put on the Trijicon MRO. I think it fits really nice on this gun. You can do whatever option you want. I just like the just a little bit larger sight window, the optics just a little larger, and then it's perfect where my cheek is to look through that optic and get a great sight picture there. Moving back from there, let's talk about everything going on with the receiver. So they have their hammer extension here. So if you do have a big scope on and you want to get to the side, you easily can just cock it from the side instead of having to reach underneath what would be a larger scope. Left that on. Moving over to here, I got their quick takedown screw. This one is a little bit of gold touch, has a compass built in, so if I'm ever out in the wilderness and I'm lost, I got a compass on hand to figure out where I need to go. I got their premium enhanced loading gate in gold, their enhanced follower for the shells on the inside of the mag tube. I got the gold enhanced trigger, which is really nice. That whole setup there is just a beautiful combination. Also, I love the black with the gold, so that's where I was going with that, one of those gold accents. I did not do safety delete, so I still have a functioning safety on this gun. And then, of course, moving back all the way to the end is their brand new stock, their skeletonized stock. And what's cool about this is it's adjustable. So by loosening these screws here on both sides, on these 4 points, this thing will angle up and down depending on how you want to set it up for a particular, cheek rise. So if you got a little higher set optic, you want to get a little higher, you can adjust this a little higher or a little lower. So that's really innovative there, and not have to worry about needing extra accessories to bring your cheek up higher on the gun. They do offer those though, I believe, but from the factory I found I did not need that for my setup. I put another shell holder on the back here, as you can see. So I'm really set up here with ammo. I got 6 in the front, 6 in the back, then the gun itself holds like 4 or 5. So the ammo I got in here as extra is Stenell brand it is the hard cast brass ammo. So this stuff is moving pretty hot, and it is a penetrator. So anything I would need to try to take down, this thing is going to do it. Let's talk about one little modification I did to this. And again, another not serious, but a little bit of what I thought was a tweak to make it just a little more custom for me. Talking about the sling. What I'm using up front is just a QD swivel. So that's nice that they got one here on the side. They also got one here on the bottom. So however you want to set it up, it has a place for it. So that's nice. I opted for mine on the side because that's how I like to run my slings, on the side of the gun. And then here, I had a QD on at first. Let me show you what I did and how I changed that. So they have one on the bottom here, bottom of the stock. If you get the accessory paddle for the shell holder, you get a QD sling point there as well. I felt like the position of that, for me, was a little too far up this way. So when I put it in a QD and put the sling there, I still felt like the rifle wanted to fall over. It didn't stay up where I like them to stay. I'm used to having them stay when I'm carrying it around. So here I'm used to it. I'm not really so much going to sling it over my shoulder in that traditional lever gun way or traditional hunting rifle way, although I still could with this setup. That's just not how I imagine doing it. In the post-apocalyptic world, running like a almost steampunky sort of lever gun setup like this is how I would imagine walking around with it, rolling around a city in a gas mask with this setup and being able to pull up at any time and shoot. Quick note on the sling, it is a quick adjustable Warhorse concept sling in a topography type pattern, so it just kind of goes with the overall theme of the outdoors, hunting, traveling type stuff, so I put that pattern on this one. But back to the sling attachment point, what I did was I took one of these Blue Force sling AK attachments. And since it's not metal and it won't, kind of rub on that metal and, scuff it and all that stuff, it's a sheathed wire, which is, they designed it for AK use. And what I did was I threaded it through the lower portion of the MLock next to the mag carrier. And that way it gives me just a spot a little further in on the stock. So it brings the sling through the middle of the stock, and I got more stability that way. So now when I can walk around with this thing, I don't have to worry about it falling over and then, I'm kind of loosey-goosey all over the place. It'll really stay nicely in this spot. So then again, when I'm ready to use it, all I'm doing, sling up, I'm in my shoulder, and I'm in a perfect spot. So that is the idea behind that setup. This particular stuff I'm running out here today, just for fun to shoot, is their trapdoor safe stuff. So it's a little less recoiling, doesn't pack that big of a punch, not that hunting round. Still would do the job, but it is less expensive and just a little more fun to shoot since it is just a more easy shooting round. A urban, steampunk, tactical environment. I'm gonna shoot from behind that barricade there and shoot around the corner downrange. So let's do that. You can see how perfectly this index is off my hand here. I'm shooting at about 50 yards right now. All right, guys, so that is the video for this setup. I really love how it came out. It is a beautiful piece. It is by far my favorite lever gun because of just how it looks. I mean, this thing is not only form, it's function. It's got everything I've always dreamed a lever gun would have, and Ranger Point made that possible with all of their offerings to bring lever guns into the 21st century. And I couldn't be more pleased with their products, and I'm so glad that they're out there doing the Lord's work and being able to bring those old dusty lever guns into the modern era and giving people like me who still appreciate the old stuff and have old stuff and appreciate all sorts of firearms, but be able to take some and really just do it up and have some fun with it. So guys, thank you for doing that. I love the stuff. And don't forget, Steve MP5 on Instagram. I'll see you next time.